Ew, I'm Tits,
Hey, I'm Areolas.
and we're reviewing Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Who framed him? Whomstead framed him?
That's the whole thing of the movie, right? Because he
Yeah,
was framed.
exactly. Roger
Uh,
Rabbit was framed.
when
It's
did
no good.
you when did you first see? I'm gonna ask you. When did you first see Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Someone actually requested me to watch this. I've heard, like, growing up of the name Who Framed Roger Rabbit as, like, a movie, but I never watched it until someone requested me to watch it.
Hmm.
What about you?
I couldn't even remember when I watched this. I just remember like as a kid watching and thinking it was real cool. Like you don't. I don't know. This was like cutting edge back when even when CGI and all that was coming up. I was just like, oh shit, this is cool. You know.
Oh yeah. As soon as I like open the movie, it's like, oh wow, this is like really cool because
Hmm.
you got the combination of the like hand drawn animation on top of like actors, and they looks like they like worked really hard on it.
And I love the like smooth writing in this where I don't know, it's a lot like those old like because it's set, like a detective movie where it's set in the 1940s or whatever, so it's really like the dialogue's fast paced and everyone kind of like sets each other up with it and I just love it like I don't know, it's I don't know, it's just a good movie and then I love that animation, the old Looney Tunes cartoons where it's all kind of
Yeah,
coming from.
yeah. I also like how the detective's character is set up. Like you only need a few lines to establish like what happened, what profession he is, why he's drinking in the bar all the time. Like with like people talking about him, like, oh, he's here, he's back here again. Man, he comes here all the time. Yeah, he came here all the time ever since his like brother died. Like people are just talking about him, like noticing him being there, and it's
Hmm.
like immediately it's like, oh wow, this guy is having a hard time, and I kind of feel bad for him, you know?
And I love how it's set up where it's as if like these cartoon characters are actors, where they have the same issues we do as like human beings, but they're actors acting whenever they are, and then in the real world they're just like, oh, I'm doing this or that or whatever. I don't know. It goes so well together, and then the idea of how serious these wacky things are, like where he's like, "Oh, why does he hate Toon so much? Toon killed his brother," and it's so cliche, but it's so like good writing.
Yeah, there's some pretty solid writing, pretty strong in the front. And also we're establishing Roger Rabbit, and he doesn't have the best performance. Seems like people were trying to get him out, like just trying to get him out of the woodwork, you know.
Which it
They're
seems like
annoyed by him.
it's like they're trying to like I guess because I don't know if he's like the most famous, but he's like whatever acting right now. He's like prominent, right? Like as an
Yeah.
actor, and they want to frame him, I guess, because it's the easiest setup. Because that dude, Acme, who owns Toontown or whatever, really likes his wife, who's Jessica Rabbit,
Yeah, oh
and
fucking anyone would. Okay? You see her? She's got like the curviness for days. She's got the big old milkers, got the big old booty, and like no waist whatsoever. And she's just animated in the most sexy way possible. I'm
uh
like,
huh.
whoa. Of course, people would like talk about rumors. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, did you know that she her playing patty cake with the Acme leader, the Acme guy? That means they're cheating. That means they're having an affair, and she's cheating on Roger Rabbit." And I'm like, no, like I don't think so. Playing patty cake with somebody is not cheating.
Well,
Okay.
he does consider it though, because it's funny whenever they do. He does get him the pictures, and he's like, "It was patty cake," and you look at it. It wasn't like innuendo, they were really playing patty cake.
They were
You
literally
know?
just playing patty cake. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
but it
play a different
turned.
game. First of all, play some poker. Uh Grow up, please. But like this this seems to send Roger Rabbit a little bit over the edge. He starts like freaking out. He's like sad, he's distraught. He's like, "No, my Jessica Rabbit, I can't believe it. She's not cheating on me. She's not doing it." I'm like, "No, she's not, dude. Like, she's a faithful woman. I don't know how you got her, but she's a faithful woman."
Well, and there's a part uh when you first see Jessica Rabbit and you see Betty Boop, and he's like, "Man, Roger's married to that woman," and she's like, "Yeah, what a lucky girl, what a lucky gal." Like everyone's lucky to be with Roger Rabbit because he's like the funniest cartoon, and that makes him like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, be with the guy that makes you laugh. Not necessarily the sexiest guy, but the funniest guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but like Acme is found to be have been murdered, and it seems like all evidence points to that Roger Rabbit did it. There's
Yeah,
evidence that he was jealous, that they're playing some patty cake, but like Roger Rabbit doesn't seem like the type of person to do a murder. He's
yeah.
too funny.
His buddy's coming to vouch for him, who's acted with him the baby, and then even his well even but his wife is like, nah, he would never hurt anyone, like this sounds fishy to me, blah blah blah. And
I think someone else did it.
the main character, the detective Eddie Valiant, is like, you know what, I guess, yeah, I'll try to figure this out, when he realizes that it's like a bigger conspiracy than he you know thought that it was.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't like the tunes at all, he's like, all right, I'll do something.
All right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, I'll help you find his will. Where is his will? And it's like everyone's scrambling to try to find Acme's will. Who owns Toontown? He's dead. Toontown is a beautiful place, but it risks being demolished by some greedy people who are like, "Oh, well, we're gonna buy up this place. We are interested in buying up this place and like converting it to something else that's more useful to humans." And I'm thinking, well, if there's tunes, how many tunes are there? Are they just exclusive to Toontown, or are they all over the world?
I don't know. In this thing, it makes it seem like the only two places are like Los Angeles or whatever, California, and then
Yeah.
Toontown. That's all that exists. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Hollywood, and then Toontown. That's it.
It's the
And
only places in the world that exist.
we get introduced, I know, whenever the murder of Acme happens, to the is he like the mayor of Toontown or something? That Judge Doom.
Yeah, I think so. Like
He
the
he's like
judge.
the judge of
Yeah.
Toontown, Judge Doom, and he's obviously the bad guy. You
His name
can't.
is Doom. Like how much more bad can you get?
Yeah, this is like, okay. I already know this is the bad guy for the movie. Why do we need to do this whole detective story when this is obviously the bad guy?
Yeah, exactly. Um and it seems like Doom Doom seems a little aggressive to me. And he's too aggressive. I'm like, dude, it's so obvious. It's obvious which side you're on.
And the fact that he created a, what is it, the dip, that ink or that acetone type stuff that can erase a tune, pretty rowdy.
That's cruel.
Yeah,
Like
that's
wonder what's made out of. Eraser?
yeah.
Whiteout?
It's made out of like paint thinner and that kind of shit that gets rid of ink or eats away at ink.
Oh, yeah, and in order to demonstrate the evilness of Doom, he's like, "Let me put a couple of tunes in here just for fun, just to demonstrate. Let's see if it works." And it makes me wonder how long he's had that for, how many tunes he's done the murder of, and like just how much he hates tunes, and what did
Yeah.
tunes ever do to him?
Well, and that kind of swerves you from the whole idea of that he could, he's just a evil human, right? You think that, right? Oh, he's just an evil human because he wants to get rid of tunes and he doesn't like them either, and he would think that detective is on his side because he doesn't like tunes either, from his brother being killed by a tune.
Yeah,
So they
he sees the importance of tunes. Like
mhm.
he hates tunes, but like he doesn't hate tunes as much as Doom does. Like Doom has paint thinner, and he's going to thin all the tunes out and like make sure they don't exist anymore. So
Like
like I think
genocide.
there might be like some sort of like redeeming quality to tunes to the detective, but like he doesn't immediately notice like that quality, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he just doesn't wanna, like, work with them, he just avoids them when he can. Obviously, he's just like, "Nah, I don't have to deal with them, I'm not gonna deal with them because I don't want to," you know? And,
Yeah, there's a lot of
so no, I'm sorry. So, what happens is, Roger Rabbit comes to the detective Eddie because he has nowhere else to go, and he thinks he kinda owes him for screwing him up to begin with this whole, picture thing, or getting that
yeah.
proof. And yeah, he's just telling him, or it's funny, like the shit that they're going through. There's little gags and bits, like with the handcuffs and in the bar dancing around. A lot of real funny, like throwbacks to classic cartoons. That I don't know if you
Mm,
grew up. Well, I didn't grow up watching these cartoons, but I grew up watching reruns of them.
mm.
And man, just watching this again, like, cracked me up. Just the cartooniest shit.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this and I did not recognize a lot of characters. Like I did recognize some, but I didn't recognize a lot of them. So it
Hmm.
was like, oh man, this is definitely something before my time for sure. Like several decades before my time.
Yeah, yeah, this is, one of those. I don't know, like I said, I watched a lot of reruns of them, not them originally airing, but it's like, man, this is like a throwback to all those classic ones and done in such a great way. Um,
They're trying to find Acme's will, and there's a company who wants to buy up the property of Toontown, and
mhm,
there's like a race to find the will before like midnight, or else then they don't have Toontown anymore. So there's a race against the clock, and I feel like um the more Roger Rabbits and the detective kind of work together, the more they like bond. They
mhm,
have like bonding moments.
mhm,
And it's pretty fun to see. I like the character development, especially from the detective.
and then there's a part where the detective actually goes and drives into Toontown, and it becomes sort of an opposite world where it's like hand drawn, but the real actor is in the cartoon world.
Yeah, it's really
And
cool. I
yeah,
was
it's
wondering how they
cool.
did that back then. Like, I know how to do that now with like computer stuff that we have.
Mhm.
Like, just you to put yourself on green screen, take the key out the green screen, then got the little cartoon guy behind you, right? But how did they do that back then?
Dude, that's some witchcraft shit, right? Like,
Witchcraft. Yeah,
that's the only way to answer that, witchcraft. Uh,
exactly.
but that's hilarious. They do that shit. Again, it's like a callback to all those classic cartoons. Um, then he's looking for Eddie Valiant, the detective's looking for like Jessica Rabbit because he thinks she did it, but then she ends up saving him, saying it's Doom, and then Doom ends up capturing all of them and taking them to his warehouse, like an Acme warehouse, where he's gonna break
It's
in
full.
through.
It's a full warehouse. Full of paint thinner, you know, full of
No,
paint thinner, and he's going to dip every one of those cartoon guys into the paint thinner. And this scene terrified me because the way it was built up throughout the movie, and then when we're at this scene, and it's like, oh wow, there's some real sense of danger here. Of course, so like they're going to find a way to get out of it, but the way that it's presented, it scares me. The
Yeah,
environment
because
scares me.
there's a lot of constant, oh shit, it's not going, and then no, and then yes, and then no, and then yes. Not just your quick, oh, I saved it. There we go, we win. It's a lot of back and forth. Uh,
Exactly. And there's like a moment where he decides to like stop drinking and pursue this fully and soberly. And that's also a good character moment. Um I feel like there like the especially with this detective, there's a lot of character growth. But with the cartoons, there seems to be intentionally no character growth with them. Like because they're cartoons. They're
mhm.
not human. They're literally they're literally like two-dimensional, or they're not dynamic. They're literally flat characters. So, like I
Yeah,
like that touch.
and they're already like their personalities are already kind of drawn with them in mind. They don't need to change. And like you said, it
Exactly.
it fits it like the way they act around everyone else. Uh,
Exactly.
so Eddie's there, battling the weasels. He makes them laugh to death by doing all this wacky cartoony shit himself, even though he's like this been the straight man the whole movie. So that's pretty funny.
I did like that. It's like switcheroo.
Hmm.
Oh, the thing that wasn't going to murder a bunch of people, the thing that I was doing that wasn't murdering a bunch of people. Uh, well, let's do the opposite and see what happens. And it worked out for him.
And he faces Judge Doom, who tries to run him over with a steamroller, which is very cartoony. And he ends
Yeah.
up getting stuck on the steamroller and getting flattened. And we learn that he is a cartoon himself, Doom.
Like, wait, what? So strange. He looks. I don't know. What look inspiration does he have? Like,
I don't know. I don't like who would draw that character. Because he had to
like
been drawn by somebody, right?
yeah, somebody had to draw him, and then he's like, "Oh, I hate the other tunes, and I hate tunes, and I'm going to make sure that I dip them in paint thinner, make sure they're dead because I hate tunes so much. By the way, I'm a tune." And I'm like, why you gotta go against your own kind like that? What did they ever do to you?
It's a weird motivation because really all his motivation was like for money and greed and power.
That's
And
the motivation to do
yeah,
things.
but you would think a tune wouldn't need all that. It's very weird. And he ended up like being the one that killed Eddie's brother too. So there's like some, I guess, like history there. But I would feel like for him to want to do this to Roger Rabbit, he would need to have something against him personally too. But I guess he just has it against all tunes. I don't know.
Yeah. The I'd say the third act is pretty scary when he like unveil uh like shows off a prototype of like I'd say like it's like a gun with the paint thinner, like a paint thinner gun.
Oh yeah,
He's
like
gonna
a fire
spray
hose.
all over the place. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like when he shows that, I'm like, oh boy, Toontown's done for. Oh, we just want a freeway? Why not do a highway or like a toll road, dude? Like you're just going to make a freeway for what? For your convenience, so other people can use it, and that you're not going to get paid for it. Like, what's your plan here? Make
That
it.
was a. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna make a road, make it a toll road. What are you doing here?
It was a very weird. I don't know if when this came out, that was like a topical thing, like a freeway, or it was a very weird like motivation. Like, oh, freeways, and everyone's like, what? That doesn't sound. It's just such a weird. Like, oh, this is the big reveal. We're doing it for freeways, not like to take over the world, but to make a road.
I know there's the interstate the interstate system was created in like the mid 70s. So it might have been commentary on that.
Yeah, it's very
So there's
odd.
that.
There's a very odd like route to go.
Get it,
Start
route. Ha ha
very
ha.
damn it, very
Ha
odd,
ha.
very odd route to go with like it starting with cartoons. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's have cartoons cross over with humans, and then it be a commentary about public transportation and freeways. Like, I don't know. It got very weird to me there, where I'm like, huh, okay,
Yeah, it's fun. I like the idea of this guy being so greedy that he builds a freeway, which is like it's for free. Okay, like choose a different thing to build, please. But luckily, his plans to build does not come to fruition because we got Eddie. He's like, your hyenas, they're yeeted. They laugh to death. Haha. Also, gotcha. Looks like you've been caught by your own what is
yep,
that term? You've been uh oh man, something by your own retard. Um what's the first part of the phrase? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Hoisted by his own retard.
okay.
That's not a
I
phrase. I made
I
that
was
up.
about to say I would have never guessed that. I think that's a phrase.
Oh boy. Wait, I cannot hear you. I just stopped being able to hear you like just now.
Hmm?
Hold on. All right.
Hello, hello.
There we go.
All right,
Okay,
cool.
cool. Um, I did not come up with that phrase. The Dick Show came up with that phrase, hoisted by your own retard. That's where I heard it from.
It fits into this conversation very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the he's hoisted by his own retard, and I guess right, that's the way I'm using it. And
Yes.
the ink, the dip kills him, and the fucking wall gets torn down in between Toontown and the real world, and all the toons come out and they just see his dead body, and they're like, "Oh, what do we do? We don't know who owns Toontown now. We have no one to lead us." Blah blah blah.
And guess who's there? Roger Rabbit's there. And Eddie's there. It's like, hey, do you want us to come here and lead us, please? I think a rabbit would be a really good choice versus a human to lead a Toontown. That's just me, though.
Well, they got the whole like giving birth. We need to up our birth rates, and rabbits are real good at that. At like, you know,
That's true. I mean, look, Jessica Rabbit's a very fertile woman. You see her hip to waist ratio?
she better be fertile. Shit.
They need to make more citizens of that also makes me think, since you can reproduce, you got tiny little cartoon rabbits. How long does it take for them to grow? Do they pop out like fully grown, fully drawn, or do they grow?
I think they usually grow like in a montage. You know how cartoons will have that where it's
Yeah,
like, oh, so many days later, and or like it just shows like flash
them running.
forwards, like flash forwards of first the baby holding the baby and then it walking, and then I don't know. It's the simple way, I guess, to just get that moving, that little flash forward of a
Yeah,
montage.
I do like how like the very very end, Eddie is like, "Oh, I don't hate tunes, and I'm going to live in Toontown now." Like, nice. I what do you have rest of your family? Seems like you don't. Don't doesn't seem like you have a rest of your family. Have a
Well,
fun
yeah,
time in Two Town.
it's good because everything gets like all the stories get wrapped up, and all the characters are like concluded and happy. You know, there's like really no like untied bow or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
The bows are neatly tied.
yeah, for all the storylines, and I don't know, it's just a good movie. Like I watched it again, you know, last night after I don't know how long, and just really enjoyed it. Like the comedy, to me, comedy's all about timing, especially
Yeah,
with like the Looney Tunes and stuff, and it's just hilarious, you know.
exactly. What would you give this on a scale?
Man, I'd say probably a 10. I really really love this. Rewatching it, really loved it. I don't know if I'd watch it again, just out of fun, but it's just really good, really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it is very good. Like I
How about
really
you?
enjoyed it. Um I think I'd give this like an 8 out of 10. It's very well done and very innovative too.
Hmm.
Like, it could be done now, but this was done then, and that's the impressive part. Like it paved the way for modern technology.
Yeah, yeah, especially when I don't know, and then the like you said, it's paving the way. Like it brought back all these cartoons, and during that time, like man, these cartoons were great, you know. And even just watching it right now, I was like, man, I miss those cartoons where I don't know, you get away with a lot of stuff that you can't get away with now.
That's true. That's very much true.
Oh man, but we're gonna look. I have a game here for you
Ooh.
called
Game.
classic cartoons, where I'm gonna show you. Again, I grew up around the reruns of these cartoons, not in the actual showing of them.
Mm.
I don't know if you grew up watching any of these reruns. But I'm going to show you some of these classic cartoon characters. I'm going to see if you could name them or know them or remember them or guess them. So we will take a look here.
Alrighty.
Do you know who this duo is?
It's Moose Man and Squirrel Girl. I've never seen them before.
You've never seen these characters before?
No.
Man, I feel old. This that sounds like a Marvel characters you named Moose Man and Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
Uh, this is Rocky and Bullwinkle, which Rocky is the squirrel and Bullwinkle is the moose.
Okay. Interesting. Is that a flying squirrel?
Yeah, it is a flying squirrel. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's why the
That makes
goggles.
sense.
And
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I just remember always watching this. And if you ever watch the animation, it's like like really crude animation, but
Hmm.
it's just I don't know. I just love it. It's funny.
That sounds fun.
Uh,
All right.
do you know who this cool
Oh,
dude is?
I've seen his face around. I've seen the cat that. Oh fuck. I don't know his name.
I
I've
don't know
seen this
why
guy around before.
it's a cat. I've seen his face around. Like,
It's a cat guy. Cat
hmm
dude. That's his name.
uh,
Cat dude.
the whistling cat dude. Yeah, they have a lot of clocks. Clocks. Have you seen like his face on a clock?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have.
His name is Felix the cat.
Felix?
Yeah, Felix.
Oh, that's a name. That's a name that was given to him.
Have you ever known anyone named Felix?
What I've never known of a Felix ever.
I had a buddy named
Actually,
Felix. I had a buddy. It's
I
interesting.
didn't know
You're
his name was Felix.
you're right
I
though.
just
Why would
have you named a cat named Felix ever?
I would never Felix? Felix.
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 I've seen his face around a ton. Like
Mhm.
very iconic face, iconic body. Just didn't know his name.
Yeah, Felix.
Yeah.
Do you, do you know who this
This is
character is?
Underdog.
Man, how do you know who Underdog is? Have you ever seen Underdog?
No, I've never seen Underdog, but I Underdog is a phrase. Like
Cool.
Uh, so it would make sense because
Yeah.
like we're all rooting for the underdog, so I guess that makes sense
I
for
used
him
to
to.
always watch this cartoon as a kid, and when I heard there was gonna be like a live action remake, I was like, and they actually have a live action remake where it's like a live
Oh,
dog. It's
that's weird. I thought
very
Airbuds was
disappointing.
the live action remake.
No,
Oh.
Airbud used to be cool, and then like he had all those children make those like buddy movies, and I just ruined it all.
That's fun.
Terrible. Do you know who this cool cat is?
That's from Speed Racer,
Hell
right?
yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
his name is just Speed Racer.
Oh, I've seen Speed Racer the anime once. No, no,
It's
not the anime. I've seen
mhm.
like the live action version. I don't know where the fuck I've seen this from.
I like that you know his name. I'm pretty sure his name is Speed. Like that's his name,
Speed.
Speed. Speed. Hey,
He has
Speed.
a need for speed.
I gotta go fast.
I
Uh, I like the live action movie. Have you like rated it on your?
don't think I reviewed it. I mean, I watched it with I think I reviewed it with Trixie the Golden Witch on a Void Gazers, like a really early one.
Mhm.
And also Young Klippa and Bird were also there. We were reviewing it. Um that was my only exposure to Speed Racer was that.
I
So there's
really
that.
liked it. I liked it, even though everyone shitted on it. The live action, I liked it.
The live action is so fucking trippy.
I
It's,
liked it though. It's different, you know.
you liked it. It's very colorful,
Yeah.
vibrant, and I feel like that's like the point of the movie.
Mhm.
So
It's very Rainbow Road.
yeah,
Let's see
exactly.
here. Do you know who this cool guy is?
Helicopter hat man. Helicopter fan hat man.
This is it's pretty close. This is
Propeller man.
Inspector Gadget.
Oh, this is Inspector. I've actually never seen the Inspector Gadget cartoons, but I've seen the Inspector Gadget live action Disney movies.
Oh, I feel bad for you. Those were
The Go
disappointing
Go
to me
Gadget,
too.
and it's just like the finger comes out, and it's just like a bunch of stuff coming out of his fingers. I've seen
Uh-huh.
that.
Oh, those are disappointing. The cartoon is so good. I grew up with it. Uh yeah, the live action again disappointing. This is Inspector Gadget.
Well, that's cool. He has a
He's
big
cool.
nose.
I had written a fan fiction like a darker version of Inspector Gadget where it's like Gadget Begins
Yeah.
where it's more like dark and brooding and realistic.
What'd he do? Did he go gadget himself into a propeller blade? It's
He
like
was
is that dark?
he was killed in the line of duty and they
Oh,
just rebuilt him, you know, like half android and
well,
he
that's
doesn't
cool.
like it. Yeah, yeah, it's
He has
very
all the gadgets. He has gadgets coming out of every pore in his body.
every hole you can imagine and
Yeah,
for
there's a gadget just coming out of it.
Do you know who this
This is Astro Man.
how do you know that?
Sorry, Astro Boy. Um, because uh, is there a copy? There used to be a copy of Astro Boy sitting around here.
Hmm.
Uh, that Trixie let me read. Trixie the Golden Witch was like, "You need to read this." So I read some of it. I did not finish it because I don't know. I just haven't finished it, but I know Astro Boy.
My niece showed me this and I go, I've seen his face, but I didn't know his name. He looks kind of like Mega Man without, you know, like the
The
helmet.
gloves.
And I was like,
Yeah.
why does he need to not have a shirt on at all times? This is real creepy, but I mean, it's
Mm,
cute. It's cute.
it's cute. Yeah, it's cute.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Uh, two more here. Do you know who this cool cat is?
Bow down. 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 Yes, a Pink Panther. I actually played the Pink Panther song in a jazz band in 6th grade specifically. Um, which is why I know the Pink Panther song.
That's cool. That's
So
cool. Very classic song. I always trip out though because I didn't really know there were like cartoons of him and there's like live actions, but it's not
I've
about
seen like
him.
I might have seen a live action movie of the Pink Panther, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's not about a Pink Panther. It's about like an
Robberies.
inspector and a robbery. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
about an actual Pink Panther, so it's very misleading.
It is really misleading, you know. I
But
wish they
then,
just like went through the effort of doing a CGI Pink Panther the entire time.
but that music is iconic. Whoever the fuck wrote
Yes.
that shit?
Yes, it is. Very iconic.
Last one here. Do you know who these
This is the
people are?
Jetsons.
Oh, that's great.
I've
I'm glad
actually
you know
seen
that.
reruns of the Jetsons just in random cabins with the cable. There's that. Only seen a couple of episodes, maybe.
I always think of like that our future is gonna lead that way. How they're up in like the sky and they're away from the earth where there's like pollution and stuff. So they have to
That
be
little
like,
boy needs a license to operate that motorized vehicle. Why is he operating that? He shouldn't be.
well, he's a little boy genius, right? Elroy, he's always making inventions and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess
Yeah.
I didn't watch that much of the Jetsons.
But I'm glad you know it. I am glad you know it. That gives me hope for the next generation of classic cartoons still exists.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
where can people find some classic beauty that is you mint?
I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/ASE presents. I do movie review requests at patreon.com/ASE presents. And all of my spicy sites are on my link tree, linktr.ee/titsman salad. And that's where I'm located.
Awesome. And I have a podcast called That's All Funny. Find it daily anywhere podcasts are available. Just search That's All Funny. You can check out the other podcast, That's All Kayfabe, where I talk about wrestling with my buddy Gabe. You can check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Lorenzo Arreola, where you can see video formats of this, that, and the wonderful Tits and Areolas show that I do with the great Men's Salad. I want to thank her for being here. I want to thank everyone for watching. And y'all take care, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.